The official rules your Rolex authorized dealer has to follow. It touched upon the topic of authorized dealers allegedly selling hot watches into the gray market. Now, as a bona fide customer, hearing of such alleged practices can be rather nauseating. But what is Rolex's official opinion on this alleged practice in the industry? Well, luckily it is not a matter of opinion. Any Rolex authorized dealer needs to wrap up a contract with Rolex and also signs a Rolex distribution agreement that stipulates what a dealer can do and perhaps just as important cannot do. But what is written in this mysterious agreement anyway? Let's take the guesswork out of this topic. No romanticizing what goes into these mysterious contracts. What follows below are direct quotes from a real-life agreement. The agreement we are quoting from is on the older side, but we also linked a more recent case. Analyzing the most recent case indicates that the text may have changed, but the spirit of this type of agreement appears to have remained pretty much the same. To be clear, we are working with publicly available documentation. Official Rolex Jeweler. Rolex appoints jeweler as an official Rolex jeweler ORJ and grants to jeweler a non-exclusive right to purchase Rolex products and resell them at retail. Rolex may appoint additional RJs at its sole discretion, regardless of their location. Jeweler agrees to sell the Rolex products in a manner consistent with the high standards, goodwill and prestigious reputation of the Rolex name. Jewelers agrees to acquire new Rolex products exclusively from Rolex. Rolex may discontinue the authorized status of one or more locations, in accord with the terms of this agreement, without changing the status of jewelers' remaining authorized locations if any. Order process. Note: how does your local ad place an order at the mothership? All orders are subject to review and acceptance by Rolex, and the approval of quantities and selection of Rolex products sold to jeweler by Rolex shall be left to Rolex's sole discretion. Orders are deemed accepted only upon shipment of merchandise by Rolex. The price charged to jeweler will be set in accord with the prevailing price list as of the shipment date. Rolex does not guarantee any delivery schedule and shall not incur any liability for a delay or cancellation in shipping any order. Rolex may cancel back orders at its discretion, and all back orders will be canceled automatically if jeweler's status as an ORJ ends, or if this agreement terminates. Rolex will not be liable for any damages that might result. Rolex stock. Jeweler agrees to stock a designated basic stock plan at all times year-round. Rolex, after consultation with jeweler, will select a basic stock plan commensurate with jeweler's sale potential drawn from all current Rolex lines for each authorized location. It is expressly understood that compliance with this provision is mandatory to retain continued status as an ORJ. Jeweler agrees to allow Rolex personnel to take a complete inventory of all Rolex products in jeweler's possession and to review Rolex sales and warranty records on reasonable oral notice. Retail sales only. Jewelers will sell Rolex products only to ultimate consumers at the retail level in transactions that originate over the counter at its authorized locations. All other methods of the sale except for Rolex-approved corporate presentation sales are considered transshipping. Rolex is the sole distributor of Rolex watches in the United States. Rolex has not authorized any ORJ or any other person to act as a wholesaler or subdistributor. Therefore, any transshipment of Rolex watches, even if unintentional, is prohibited. ORJs may not sell watches to customers referred from outside their local market area unless the sale is transacted in person at an authorized location, nor may they pay a fee for any referrals. Right to repurchase. If jeweler's status as an official Rolex jeweler ends for any reason, or if jeweler terminates its business, liquidates its inventory, or in any manner attempts to make a bulk sale of its inventory, Rolex reserves the absolute right, in its sole discretion, to repurchase all or part of jeweler's Rolex inventory at the invoiced price. Rolex shall have the right of first refusal to repurchase such inventory, and jeweler shall not sell, or offer to sell, or transfer possession or ownership of such inventory to any third party unless it has first offered to sell the inventory to Rolex at the price specified herein, and Rolex has refused such offer.